Mic check. Okay.
Follow us on Instagram.
Better follow me
at Philly Jam 95.3 FM.
Good evening, Rebirth family. This is Shay Marriott, the host of the Rebirth Show, and joining me tonight is my co-host, Mr.
Hey, Eli Isabel in the building. Rebirth, what's up? Philly 95.3 Jamz. Shay Marriott, what's up?
The whole government name.
Damn
what's up,
right. What's good, sis?
How you doing, bro?
Man, you don't want to know. I'm gonna make it though.
You're gonna be all right.
A little technical difficulty, but I'm in the building because you know why? God is able.
Yes, he is. Won't he do it?
Yeah, all the time. What's going on? How was your weekend?
My weekend was good. How about yours? Yeah, that's you.
I'm not connected now. My weekend was it was another weekend of Saturday. I did nothing.
Okay.
I got my lay around on Sunday. Yesterday I got out and about a little bit to see some young people I work with. And then I brought it back in to watch my boys at 4. I mean, it was a rough Sunday.
Did they win?
It was a rough Sunday.
Did your boys win, though? I'm trying to understand. Did they win?
We didn't win. You can't win them all.
All right. That's what's up.
We winning most of them, though, nowadays. We winning most of them,
We won.
though. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. Y'all just prolonging y'all agony. It's okay.
Stop hating.
We're not gonna. I know I'm in the city of Philadelphia in this whole tri-state area, but I ain't rocking with them equals, and I'll leave it at that.
Oh wow, you're such a hater.
That's what I did.
It was a good weekend. My girl Levante got married this weekend.
Official.
Yes, she got married. So congratulations to Levante and Alvin Yates. And also congratulations because she made the big announcement. She's having a baby boy.
Wow.
Baby Noah will be coming in 2022. So
wow. Congratulations to the Yates.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Congratulations. It was a beautiful wedding. Doc B was on the
ones and twos.
Yeah, he was on the ones and twos.
Oh, she did it big.
She did it big, yeah, as she should. She's
absolutely.
She's a queen, as she should, and it was just a great time. We had a really good time. So, shout out to them and all the wedding party, and everybody, the girls. We had a great time.
There you go, man.
Yeah. Yep.
What's the plans for Thanksgiving? What do you got going on?
Yeah, so
Are you cooking?
I am cooking along with.
I don't feel your enthusiasm.
What are you talking about? I usually cook every year. Last year was the only time I didn't cook because I went to Atlanta to visit my best friend and her family. So, and my mom was mad too. She was mad, but I am cooking. And of course, Shannon's going to be cooking as well. So he's a great cook. So
I heard you talk about that. His brother got skills, huh?
Yeah, we're gonna do a little cook off this year. So
really?
It should be fun.
I'm pulling for Shannon.
Whatever. Man.
I'm just saying.
Wait a minute. Where is my gumbo?
Ooh, you don't forget nothing.
No, I don't forget anything.
That's
been about 3 weeks ago, man.
You like an elephant. This is what I'm gonna do when I come back next week. I'm gonna make a little small pot just for you. How about that?
Y'all hear this?
As a, you know what? Because you be helping me out, and my family. So me doing things for us, and I appreciate it. That's how I'm gonna show you my appreciation
with some gumbo.
With a little gumbo.
I never had it.
Really?
I never had it, so that's why I'm excited to try it.
The bar high around here, so after mine, you might be like, I don't know. You gonna have to go to New Orleans to get it.
Okay.
To get that.
Go to Nola.
You had to go to New Orleans to get that thing that's gonna compare to mine. Yes, I got you. Say less.
All right, y'all hear that, right?
Say less. Say less. So
yes. So
yes,
again, welcome to the Rebirth. We have a really good show tonight. The Rebirth, real talk with real people about real topics. Make sure that you follow us on all social media outlets, and if you would like to be a sponsor of the Rebirth, make sure you hit me at info@rebirthu.com. Tonight, we have a amazing show. So I'm going to put the number out there because I know you guys might want to call in for some questions or comments. The number is 267-908-3166. Again, 267-908-3166. 3166. Once again, welcome to the Rebirth. Now, before we get into what the show is going to be about tonight and who our special guest is, let's get into right here and right now.
Oh, Lord. Right here, right now, man. Monday, November 22nd. So, I know you guys have all been paying attention, hopefully, to this whole thing with Kyle Rittenhouse. If you don't know who he is, he's a young man that was involved in he shot 3 people during a Black Lives Matter rally in Kenosha, Wisconsin, last summer. Yeah.
Okay.
He's 18 now. I don't know if he might have been 17 then. But he was acquitted.
What?
He was acquitted, and here's the crazy part to me. He shot white folks and was acquitted.
Oh, wow.
He shot 3 white people, killed 2, injured 1. And he was found not guilty on all counts. And here's the thing to me that gets me. Now, when he committed these crimes, he was under 18, but his mother drove him to this rally, and with a gun in the car for him to go out there. No charges for her.
That's first of all, what did they acquitted him on? I mean,
He was acquitted. I'll tell you what his charges, what he was acquitted of. First degree, he was acquitted, count 1, first degree, reckless homicide, use of a dangerous weapon, acquitted.
but how?
2 counts of first degree, reckless endangering safety, use of a dangerous firearm. That meaning he let off,
Wow.
acquitted. So, and here's a concerning thing too. So now, is this going to give every person wannabe vigilante? Is that going to give them the wind in their beneath their cape? Says, hey, you know what? We can go out here and I know I can kill somebody and I can say it was self-defense
That's crazy.
and get away with it. Like, to me,
Right.
that's giving people a false sense of what that whole thing is about.
So he said it was self-defense?
He said it was self-defense, but you showed up at a rally with a rifle out. So you're
Wow.
in my mind. Why are you? If you didn't come to hurt anybody, why? And hold on, let me go back a step. He had the nerve to say he supports Black Lives Matter. He said
Don't be
that.
adding us to that foolishness,
Listen,
bro.
I don't know. Did you see that, Tosh? He said that he supports Black Lives Matter, so he can't be a white supremacist or racist.
Oh, man.
But the people it's weird that the people that support him, some of the people who've been supporting him are from those alt-right groups. And they've been calling for him to be found innocent. And it's sad, man. So now we're sitting here waiting on this Ahmaud Arbery. The jury got the case today. They've been deliberating and they were going to continue tomorrow. So
Let me tell
we'll
you
see.
something. If that don't come back right, y'all might as well forget it. It's gonna be some stuff happening.
The new Black Panther Party was down there today, and it's something crazy for me to see the brothers down there with the AR-15s, the assault rifles. They got the gear on, and they marching around the courthouse. I mean, it looks if I'm a clear person, that looks a little intimidating to me,
Right.
because you don't normally see us,
Right.
we mobbed up like that.
Hell, I ain't clear, but it'd probably be intimidating to me too.
I felt a sense of pride.
Right. Well, that too.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
because all these other groups get together, they come and protest, they come and do their things, and now we all down there, we legally carrying. It's an open carry state. Here we are.
That's right.
And nothing the law can do about it.
That's right. That's right.
So I hope that it goes. I hope that they do the right thing by his family.
Ooh,
But it's always a chance.
it's always a chance.
It's
That's
always
crazy.
a chance that something could go left, and Jesus be with them.
Yeah. You struggling over there, man.
Yeah, man. It's Monday, yo, and I ain't even work. That's the bad part. You think I went to work
It's
today?
okay. It's okay. We're going to get through it tonight. We are going to get through it tonight.
Fix it, Jesus.
And so you're jumping on the highway, right?
I'm out of here tomorrow night. I'm gonna try to leave about midnight,
Okay.
and I'm gonna drive through, get the family on down to the dirty,
Okay.
and get some. I'm good to gain about 4 or 5 pounds while I'm gone. I'm gonna do my best not to, because I'm trying to go in reverse, but they feed you that death down there. Literally, you stay down there long enough, it'll be your death.
Better wear some sweatpants, something forgiving.
Nah, I want
When
to
you
keep
go
my
in
jeans
to
on so I
eat.
can know when to settle down. No, the regular clothes is just fine. No elastic.
Oh, man.
Well, yeah,
That's
I'm
gonna
looking
be
forward
fun.
to it. It's gonna be fun, and then a week after that, my baby's graduating college.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I got
you
a
gonna be
busy
going
2
back
weeks.
down there?
I'm going back to Atlanta.
Wow.
I'll be back Sunday, and then I'll be heading to Atlanta Thursday morning.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll be here.
Yeah, right. You know, I was about to say, oh, you gonna be here next Monday?
I'll be here. But yeah, I'm just getting ready for that, gearing up for that, man.
Wow. Well, that's all good. All exciting things.
Yes.
So, and definitely safe travels to you. So,
Thank you.
Welcome to the Rebirth. Shout out to Latoya Coates. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for Antoinette Hastings Thornton. She was on the show last week. What's up, boo? And of course, Shannon. What's up, love?
What up, homie?
All right, guys, let's get into it. So tonight, we have the relationship expert, Miss Eden Adele from Get Back to Passion. Satisfillment. She's a writer and author. And I've been knowing Eden for a few years now. She used to come on the Rebirth show when I was on the Hottest Live Radio. And I'll call her the truth bomb because she always got the truth that she be spitting. You know, she's all of that, you know. So
I can't wait to experience this.
Listen, before I get her on, I want to read something that caught my eye that she wrote. And of course, the topic is being their human pacifier won't make them love you back. Let me tell you, if you have somebody or know somebody that needs to hear this tonight, please share it. If you're watching us from social media, share it. I'm going to give y'all a couple seconds before we get her on. Share it because they need to hear it. I'm going to read that again. Being their human pacifier won't make them love you back. Now, what is she talking about? I'm going to read what she wrote. Pacifiers and breasts both have nipples, but only one has the capacity to feed. Continuing use of pacifiers leaves babies hungry, sleepy, and frustrated. They can be soothing, but eventually only a breast or a bottle will do. Many adults also use other adults as pacifiers. Preach. They often get into relationships to relieve boredom, loneliness, insecurity, or fear. Whatever the case, changing their partner becomes the focus rather than changing themselves.
Wow.
They become human pacifiers, hoping the love they give will be given back. And when it isn't, they blame their mates. What's one thing that can be done to get off the hamster wheel of jumping through hoops to pacify a partner in a relationship? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the relationship expert, Miss Eden Adele, to the Rebirth.
Yes, applause. You gonna hit them with the applause?
Thank you so much for having me here.
Hey, Eden.
This is so awesome. Hey, Shay.
Hey.
It feels like it's been a million years. It's so good to be
It's so
back
good
with
to
you.
see you. I'm so happy. Thank you for joining us, girl. You know I love me some Eden Adele. You know I love me some Eden Adele.
True. And Eden loves you back, boo. Yes, she
All right, this
does.
third person conversation going on up in here.
Eden, this is Eli. I thought you met Eli before.
I haven't. Hi,
Hey, Eli has never
Thank
met
you.
Eden. Since we're gonna talk in third person,
okay.
That's right.
Eli has never met her. Hi.
How you doing and stuff? Hey.
I'm good. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. So Eden, you know when I saw this post, I hit you up. You know I'm anytime I see something you write, I'm like, girl, we gotta do a show on this. Girl, we gotta do a show on this. But this one hit a little bit different. It hit a little bit different because I do and I ain't gonna throw y'all out there, but I do know some people that's in this situation, you know. So I'm hoping that we can inspire them during this show, you know, to make some changes with themselves and some healing. So let's get into it. So talk to me about this human pacifier. Where does these thoughts come from? Yes, absolutely.
Well, you know, especially since the pandemic started, people have been looking for ways to soothe themselves. Some more effective than others, and others downright destructive. And they've become habits, and that's where the whole human pacifier idea came from. Because you know those stories you hear from people in the midnight hour when the sheets are getting cold and they staring at the ceiling
Right.
and counting the tiles or whatever, and they think maybe now's a really good time to send that "Hey big head" text,
It is that season.
that WYD text, "I'm still uncuffed. How about you" text,
Right. Right.
to somebody that they already know, who has already shown them that they are not good for them.
Mm.
Not that they're not good people, but that they're not good for them. And they know this. They know this going in. And they find all kinds of ways to rationalize why they should. Well, it's cold. Well, I'm bored. Well, they're always available when I just want this itch scratch. Well, it'll just be this time. Pacifiers. None of them's actually a meal. None of them offers any real lasting nourishment. None of them even offers the promise of sustainability. It's all right now. It's like, well, it's gonna make me feel good right now. And in that moment, while I'm deluding myself into believing it's more substantial than it is, I'll have a relief from my pain. I'll have a relief from my loneliness. I'll have a relief from having to face myself. Pacifiers.
Wow.
We surround ourselves with these people because they get the job done.
Wow.
If that's all you're looking for, then you know where to find it. They get the job done. But then the kickback is we get dissatisfied because it's not more. We actually want more, but we get mad at them for not being more, even though they've never been more.
Wow. So, question for you.
Yes, sir.
Do you find, like, from a relationship perspective, because I see where you're going with this, and you can be a pacifier in many areas of your life, not just relationships. However, do you find that is it women more so allowing men to attach themselves to them, or does it go both ways?
Everything goes both ways.
That's right.
Just want to make sure.
Just put that out there. It's like, if I'm not talking about ovaries and prostates, everything goes both ways.
That's the only thing that separates
It's
us.
like, let's just be clear on that. Emotions are the same. Relationship dynamics are the same. They might show up a little bit differently, but the dynamics are actually the same.
Right.
They always have been. They always will be. And we need to stop pretending like relationships are the place where people go to be logical. Because that's not happening. If that was happening, we wouldn't have this 50% divorce rate.
Let's talk about it.
I'm just saying, because we're pacifying each other. We get into relationships with pacifiers. We get into relationships based on what feels good to us, what looks good to us, what we think is going to look good to our friends and family, what's going to look good on the gram. We get into relationships based on what we're attracted to, based on rather than what we can actually build a life with. We're not even looking for what we can build a life with, because that ain't sexy. It don't look good. It don't feel good. It's boring. It takes effort and focus and effort. Oh my God. And none of that is sexy. You can't drink it. You can't smoke it. You can't squeeze it, suck it. You can't do none of that. You actually got to sit down, look at it, write it out, scratch it out, maybe try it again, ball it up, throw it in the corner, start over. It's ugly. It ain't sexy, but it's necessary. It's still required. And just because we're willing to run away from it doesn't mean it's not still required. You can run if you want to, but you're gonna have to come back.
She preaching.
She's always preaching. I
preaching
wish I could
tonight.
throw some truth bombs out there, because she always hit it. So we got a couple comments. Latoya Cole said this hit me right in the chest. All right, Latoya. Right in the
Today I
chest.
chose
That's right.
violence.
That's right. Listen, I'm telling people, like, they gotta tune in and share it. Share it with somebody that needs to hear this, because the one thing I like about Eden, she's not gonna sugarcoat anything. She just gonna give it to you just like it is.
Real talk about real people.
Right, about real topics.
But Eden, something that struck me that you said, that we run to relationships like they are a logical place. Wow. And you know what? That makes sense. To me, I feel like sometimes when I look at my situation, I'm like, this is the most illogical place I could ever find myself in. Now, there, again, like you said, there is the work that goes around it, but I agree with that.
It's not what draws us together. It's not logic that draws us together. People keep trying, they go through all of these machinations trying to make sense out of what people want. And there's no sense.
Wow.
That's why nobody can tell you have a right or not to what you want. Because what you want isn't based on logic. It's based on emotion. It's based on what you want.
Right.
Not what makes sense. And people are going to want what they want, whether it makes sense or not. Listen,
That's true.
You can tell folk all day long that you can prove it to them in a court of law that what they want doesn't make sense. And they will leave that courtroom and still want it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because people want what they want because they want it, not because it makes sense, not because they're entitled to it, not because they've earned it, not because of none of that. That's why jumping through these endless hoops trying to make sense out of what people want just keeps us perpetually frustrated. It's trying to make sense out of what doesn't even have to make sense.
Wow.
It doesn't have to make sense. People are still going to want whatever they want. No matter how I feel about it, you feel about it, the government feels about it, their partners feel about it. They're still going to want what they want. Whether their partners like it, don't like it, want to give it to them, whatever. They're still going to want what they want. The question is what they want important enough to them that they're willing to risk the relationship with you in order to have it?
Wow. Shay?
It's quiet.
So
I know Shay over there like
I'm listening. I know, right? I forgot I'm hosting the show here. So what?
Shay
One of
knows
the
she my
things,
girl.
Eden, I just let you just
We
go
go
ahead
way
on,
back.
and I could just listen. One of the things that, like, I read everything that you had wrote, in that article that you had wrote on Instagram, right? And one of the things that you said was, which really hit was, and when it isn't, well, let me back up. You said they become human pacifiers, hoping the love they give will be given back. And when it isn't, they blame their mate. That right there, that part right there really hit, because I ain't, well, just know that part right there hit.
almost did some self-disclosure, didn't you? Almost.
They blame their mate, like not able to take accountability for their own stuff, their own actions, but they blame you for it not working or for them feeling the way that they feel. Can you talk a little bit more on that? Because to me, that's narcissist. I mean, that's narcissist behavior to me.
Absolutely.
So,
Well, the first thing, I'm glad you mentioned that word, because that word gets used a lot. And many times appropriately so. But we need to remember that narcissism is a spectrum. It is a manifestation of ego, and we all have it. So to some degree, we've all got it. It's just a question of how aware of it we are, and two, what we do to manage it. It's like, have we come up with healthy ways to manage it? Because there is no getting rid of it. Ego is a crucial, critical, necessary part of our survival mechanism.
Right.
It needs to be there in order for us to stay alive. It is going nowhere. Our job as higher animals is to create healthy ways to manage it in ways that actually serve us rather than destroy us. Because just like it's part of our survival mechanism, it is also the basis of our tendency to self-destruct. Left to our own devices, we would destroy ourselves. That's why babies have parents. They would never survive childhood otherwise.
And that's the most simplistic breakdown you can have right there.
I'm just saying. It's like babies would never survive childhood without parents. We have to learn to manage our ego and make it work for us instead of against us. And in the realm of relationships, we tend to indulge our ego to the negative rather than positive. Because the negative feels good. It's like it works against us, but we enjoy the ride. And it's habitual for most of us.
Right.
It's based on habits that we learned as children.
Okay.
Things that we watched our parents doing, things that we watched our families doing, things that were common in our communities of origin. All of these things get reinforced day by day, encounter by encounter, step by step as we grow up. And during our formative years, that's where it's really critical because we don't have any discernment at that age. So everything that happens around us becomes yes. It's just yes. That's the way it is. That's the way it's supposed to be. That's the way it's always going to be. And if I'm going to survive until tomorrow, I need to learn how to manage this. And unless and until something interrupts that pattern, that's what they'll continue to do. It's what people do. People don't do what works. They do what they've always done.
Wow.
Because humans are habitual. They're not logical. Stop letting people sell you that. People are not logical. People are habitual. And they will reinforce their habits in the face of a choice to create a new habit. Because creating a new habit is an unknown. It's a crisis. Even if it's for your benefit. It's an unknown. It's a crisis. It's something I've never done before. And it's something that I'm not willing to do. This is the important part. It's something that I'm not willing to do until I'm comfortable with it.
Right.
Because we could choose to do something different enough that it becomes a new comfortable.
Right.
It's how we created the habits that we have. We weren't born with those habits. We created them. And we can create other habits. We don't have to break old habits. We just have to be willing to make new ones. But most people aren't willing to do that because it takes focus. It takes effort. It takes work. It takes attention. It takes ugly. It takes boring. You know, good relationships are basically boring. And most people, kid you not, healthy, happy, whole, substantive, lasting relationships are basically boring.
Yeah.
And people keep bouncing in and out of relationships because they have not learned an effective way to manage their own boredom. And they go to their relationships for entertainment
And drama.
rather than education or evolution.
Yes.
They go to their relationships to be entertained. And once they're not entertained anymore, they think there's something wrong with the relationship rather than the expectation that the relationship should entertain.
That's deep.
That's very deep. How let me get your opinion on this, you and Shay.
Go ahead.
No, I thought she was still talking.
Oh, it's a delay. Yeah.
Okay, so as you just said, and I guess there's some truth to that, because people who've been together for a long time and who have a really relationship built upon substance and love and all of the things that we all want, I guess it could appear on the outside looking in to be a little boring. So what do y'all think? What has social media done to that image of what a relationship probably truly is, which is boring? Like, what is as social media? Because everybody looks like they're doing well and they're happy and they're on this trip, and you don't see that they fought at the airport, that they're on this island. So how is that? You think that has tainted the way we view relationships, like real relationships?
Absolutely. I mean, I do. I think social media, but I believe before, I know social media plays a big part, but I think that what she just said about, because I'm just thinking about my experience so far as in therapy wise, just working with couples and stuff. I've actually heard people say, like, I'm bored in a relationship. Like, the person is not doing anything. They're not, they not causing any type of craziness. The relationship is good, but they're bored, but they're so used to drama. It's
Right.
like you can be addicted to drama.
True.
And you can have a nice dude or a nice female that, is a good person, everything you might really need in a partner, but because they're not drama filled, you will end up leaving that relationship or starting some type of drama.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
I kind of feel
Some folk need to get called out their name here and there
Right.
to feel whole.
toxic. Yeah.
That is toxic.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, I mean, that's my opinion, but I want, Miss Relationship Expert herself to to chime in.
Social media. What you think, Eden?
Social media is just like every other tool. It is what you make of it. In and of itself is neutral. It's not good or bad. The impact it has depends on how you use it. If you're using it as an escape, then it will ultimately destroy you, because there is never enough escape and there are endless options. So if you feel like there's always something that you've missed, or that there's another option you haven't experienced and you're entitled to experience because you want to experience it, then you will destroy yourself chasing options because they're endless. And you will use them to try to fill a space that is bottomless. There is no filling it. There's not enough people. There's not enough stuff to do. There's not enough entertainment to fill that space. Because what that space is really the hole in your own heart that can only be filled with you by you. And that's why the more you chase all these other exterior things to try to fill it, you frustrate yourself and everybody else around you. Because it's not even possible for them to fill it, even if they
Wow.
wanted to, no matter how much they love you. And that's the marketing, which is ultimately what all of this is about, contrary to popular opinion.
Yep.
It's not about love. It's not about relationships. It's not about building better communities. It's not about reversing toxic relationship dynamics. It's about selling you stuff. Be clear. Social media is designed to program you to buy stuff. And the reason why this whole gender war is such a popular topic isn't because there's a substantive war between the sexes. It's because it's sexy enough to keep you focused on that screen for them to keep running advertisements past you so that you will keep buying.
That's true.
Why? Because unhappy people buy more than happy people.
That's true.
Why?
Let me
Because
just say
they're
that
trying to
again.
escape their unhappiness.
Unhealthy people buy more than happy people.
Yes.
Y'all know, look now, Black Friday coming. So y'all,
You about to
Like,
look
I'm
unhappy,
just
ain't you?
saying.
Do we have to prove it? Year after
Right.
year. I mean, year after year after year. It's not an accident. And all the entertainment, all the pretty pictures, all the luxury, and all of that, none of that really has anything to do with the consumer except to get them to buy.
Yeah.
It's not to get them to change their behavior. It's not to get them to fix their families, to raise better adjusted children. All of that lofty stuff, that's not the purpose. So if it happens, it's because individuals decided to make something good out of it. But be clear, that's not the purpose of it.
Well, Eden, you're definitely dropping some gems.
Yes.
We're gonna take a short break and we're gonna come back with Miss Eden Adele. That's actually joining us. Eden, you're in Texas now, right?
No, I'm back in Chicago.
Girl, get out of here! You're back in the Windy City.
I'm back in the Windy City.
Just in time for
Oh
winter.
my God, I did not know that. Oh, we gotta catch up. We gotta catch up. All right, we
I've
gonna.
been here for a couple of weeks.
Oh, okay. Are you there for good now?
I am, and I'm
Oh,
in my
wow.
cousin's fitness center. Like, bless her heart, she let me take over her fitness room so I can do this podcast.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, welcome back to Chicago. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with Miss Eden Adele, relationship expert. Get back to passion. We'll be back. Every 3 seconds, a woman is murdered by an intimate partner due to domestic violence. A damaged self-worth, distorted thoughts, and fear can keep a woman trapped. It's time to renew. 50% of marriages end in divorce. Loss of identity, security, and financial instability can cause a person to grieve a relationship as if they are grieving death. It's time to rebuild. Only 10% of Americans dealing with addiction receive treatment. More than 20% of Americans with anxiety disorder also suffer from a drug use disorder. People addicted to prescription drugs are 40 times more likely to become addicted to heroin. It's time to restore. Life happens to all of us, no matter race, gender, or age. You will be challenged to rediscover who you are meant to be, and what purpose you are meant to serve. Starting over after a life crisis, 12-step online course will help you rebuild, restore, renew, and rebirth the new version of yourself. It's never too late to start over and rewrite your story. Sometimes we have to die a little inside in order to be reborn. The rebirth.
Straight out of Philly. Turn it up. 95.3 Jamz.
Welcome back to The Rebirth. My name is Shay Marriott, and joining me tonight is my co-host.
Eli Isabel in the building. What's good?
We are talking to the beautiful Miss Eden Adele, and we're talking about human pacifiers. They're human pacifiers. Being a human pacifier won't make them love you. All right, Eden. Let's see how many more gems you can drop before we end tonight. I think Eli has some questions for you.
I do. So Eden, Miss Eden, if how would one, if one person finds themselves maybe being the human pacifier, how does one break that cycle, or that how do you unbecome that, so to speak? What steps would you recommend a person takes?
First, you have to be aware of it.
Okay.
First, you have to be willing to call it what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be aware of it. You can't sugarcoat it. You can't turn it into something that you want it to be. A lot of people call it love. This whole idea of I'm supposed to give them everything they want to the best of our ability. That's why I'm here. That's my function in this relationship. And
Right.
if I jump through enough hoops and if I meet enough expectations, then they'll love me back. That's the deal that we keep being sold. And it's not true. It's never been true. It'll never be true. But that is the idea that keeps us in our hamster wheels. They keep us chasing a prize that can never be won. Because the idea is based on being able to satisfy someone else in a way that only they can satisfy themselves. But we're taught that love is about our ability to do that for them, to do that instead of them, to do that because of them. And it doesn't work that way. It never did work that way. It never will work that way. And when you see couples who have actually made it work, instead of that, instead of them making each other happy, they are sharing their happiness with each other. That's a different idea.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
On the way, of course, they do things that make each other happier. But they don't make each other happy. They are happy.
Right.
And they share their happiness together. And the way that they share their happiness magnifies it, multiplies it, turns it into something that it would never be otherwise. And they get to experience that together.
Mm-hmm.
And that becomes the glue that holds them together.
Wow.
And then they just keep making more glue. That's how it works for couples who have actually gotten it right.
Yeah.
But this idea that you can be something for someone that they've never been for themselves
Right.
is a setup for failure. It won't happen. Because
think-
even if you got it right, they wouldn't know how to receive it.
Right. So I've in the past, I've been, you know how you're in a relationship with people and they may have had daddy issues, or they may have, had whatever issues they've had in their past life. And I don't know if most of us go into a relationship looking to be someone's, their brother, their sister, their daddy, their best friend. I think we often just we end up adopting that role without even realizing it. You know what I mean? I think we end up being something for people that we didn't intend to do all of that. But because I like that person, and they say when you love somebody, love is a selfless thing. So you're giving of yourself, right? And I heard what you said about people should, if two people come into a relationship and they're already happy, then the happiness will be just magnified because you don't necessarily need that person to make you happy. But I think, how many of us go into relationships where both people are completely happy, or somebody isn't hanging on to something from the last relationship? You know what I mean?
I have now.
Amen.
Now, but that was something I had to learn
Right.
after my marriage.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So the person I was and the things that I thought I knew about relationships prior to getting married, and then the person I am now and going through that experience, I look at relationships totally different. And that's why it took me so long to enter into another relationship, because I wanted to make sure that I was good, that I'm happy within myself, and I
Right.
wasn't looking for happiness from someone else. That's too much pressure to put on somebody because you don't know what makes me happy. I
Right.
needed to figure that out myself, so I can truly, honestly say that, that is the space that I'm in, and as well as my partner,
Right.
But I do agree with what you're saying. That's not always the case. You
Most
gotta
of the
do
time.
work.
I don't know
Yeah.
many people, and that's a blessing that you were able to get to that point in your life to be able to recognize what you needed and to seek that, and then you become a happy person. But it's just, I think a lot of people, when I work with a lot of young people, and they just go from one person to the next, trying to, everything Eden said, they're trying to find happiness. If it's not, it's boring here, let me go. He's boring, girl. I don't really like him.
Right.
But he could potentially be a great mate.
Right.
Because he's not flying you to all of these countries and you're not on the gram. I think the substance of relationships have gotten lost and things of that
Absolutely.
nature.
Absolutely. And especially now, like I definitely wanted to get your take, Eden, on then that might be a whole nother show. But the high value man, that seems to be, I think we lost Eden. Yeah, we lost her.
What's that brother's name?
But
That's always talking
Samuel something.
Kevin Samuels.
Kevin Samuels. Yeah. Like that whole situation with the high value man, and the type of men that you should be dating, but then you got to be a certain type of woman to
Right.
date that type of man. And this is really getting, listen, I've had females have this conversation with me, and I'm just like, yo, y'all really sitting here believing this stuff and following it and trying to apply it, and when it's not working, you're dogging your own selves out.
Right. Kevin Samuels, I find him to be interesting, intelligent, and stupid all at the same time. If that makes sense. And I'll tell you why. Well, let me go back to this until we bring Eden back in. If we're able to get her back. So I wonder why women. So if you've seen his podcast or whatever he calls it when he's talking to women, why I feel like he's there just to make a person feel worse about themselves. Like if you're okay, you can be honest with a person, but then you send them out with encouragement and some positivity, right? I guess maybe that's a counselor, that's a therapist in me. You know what I mean? But he is all the beat down, and then he sends you on your way. Who signs up for that? Let me come on here and let him dog me out. And they try to go back and forth with him, and eventually he keeps pounding them on the head and pounding them on the head, and they submit. And to his will of what he has to say, I don't like that. Baffles me.
Yeah.
That they say, "Oh, I want to get on with Kevin."
Yeah.
It's not going to be good.
Yeah, it's and I can't wait. She's trying to come back on. I cannot wait to hear Eden. Is she back? Okay.
That was so rude. Oh my god.
It's all good. We got a question for you. We brought
Yes,
up just
please.
as you was over there like dying. The question about that's what it's all good. The question about the high value man came up because I wanted to get your take on that. We know Kevin Samuels is running around talking about all of this, and women are really like driving themselves crazy trying to find these high value men, and also trying to be the women that date the high value
meet those
men.
expectations
Right.
of what he says.
So quickly,
Yeah.
what is your thoughts about that?
Quickly.
I said this probably be a whole nother show, but
Oh, it's definitely a whole nother show. But here's why it'll never work. And a simple Google search will show it to you.
I love
If
her.
you Google search millionaire wives or billionaire wives and sort them by images, just go through the images and see what you see and see what you don't see. Here's what you won't see. Is line after line of Instagram models. That's what you won't see. Those aren't the women that those men typically marry. Because men who achieve at that level are very protective of the legacies they build and the destinies they leave behind. and they don't trust that to just anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And their criteria for choosing a partner to help them do that is very different than she looks like this, moves like this, got a big bubble in the back.
Right.
They have different criteria. It's like what arouses them and what they actually choose to build a life with are usually two different women.
Mm-hmm.
But a Google search will do it. I didn't make it up.
Right.
All you have to do is take a look. Stop focusing on 6-figure men and go to 7-figure men, or
Mm-hmm.
8-figure men, or 10-figure men, or
Wow.
higher, and see what you and just see what's there. You don't have to create anything. Just see what's there. Kevin didn't create this high value conversation. He just popularized it. The
Mm-hmm.
idea is actually a very old idea. But another thing that people need to be aware of in this conversation while they're chasing this high value standard is they need to remember that that people who have enough disposable income to buy their way out of trouble are typically not good at relationships.
Mm.
They're good at spending money. They don't have to be good at relationships because they can buy their way out of
Yep.
consequence.
That is so
And
true.
unless you have a person in relationship with you who is actually interested in having a relationship with you rather than just getting what they want and exercising their options, it's a setup for failure.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you could be everything they want and they'll still leave. And that's not specific to somebody earning 6 figures.
Right.
That's
Right.
true.
There are people living under bridges who are getting everything that they want and still leaving and still cheating and still having toxic relationships. And there are people living on acreage who have horse stables and who vacation in Cannes who are miserable because their relationship skills suck.
Wow. That's
It's
the
not
worst.
about the money. It is about the relationship skill and the willingness to use it.
Yeah.
Right.
Because money for men is like beauty for women. If they can use that to escape consequence, most people will because they lack
Mm.
character, not because
Mm.
they lack something else. It's character that makes relationships last. Not money, not beauty, not anything exterior. It's a character issue. Will they say no to what they want if yes is available?
Oh, girl, you better say that. You better say that. He didn't say that one more time, please,
It's
for the
like,
people in the
are
back.
you with someone who is willing to say no to what they want if yes is available?
Damn.
Because if they're not, your relationship is always going to have a target painted on it. Because yes is always available.
Yes is always
It is.
available.
Yes is always available. No matter how much money you have or don't have. Yes is always available. If it's not available with you, it will be with someone else. People don't stay faithful because they don't have options. People stay faithful because they choose not to exercise the option.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
Well,
That's what makes people faithful. It doesn't have anything to do with their partner. I have spoken to men specifically who have hell in their homes, hell in their homes, who have told me themselves that they are still faithful to wives that they can't stand.
Mm.
And I have also spoken to men who have said to me they're very happy with their relationships,
Mm-hmm.
that there isn't anything that they want from their wives that they're not getting, and they are cheating.
Mm-hmm.
It is a
Yep.
character issue. And money, unlike popular opinion, is a crisis. And any crisis will amplify and magnify who you already are. It won't change you.
Right.
It'll just magnify who you already are and show it on a bigger stage. Give you a larger platform to demonstrate it. But it won't change you. If you're stingy, broke, you'll be stingy, rich.
Mm-hmm.
Because stingy isn't about money. It is a condition of the heart.
Mm-hmm.
And people reveal the condition of their hearts continually. All you have to do is pay attention.
Girl, you got me over here choking. Hold on. Hold on. I'm going to put my mic on mute.
Get your life together, Shay.
Shay knows we go way back. We've been doing this for years.
You know what, Eden? I know we're getting close to the end. Just really quick, I just want to piggyback off of something you said. When you said, you take millionaires and billionaires and you Google them and look at their women. And they're typically not these Instagram models or these people, that most people think that these men would go and have. And I agree so much. Like, I think about all these people that we see on social media, all these women that we see that are doing whatever they're doing for attention. Most of them are single. And I definitely wouldn't have anyone.
Most
right.
Instagram models are single.
They are so single. And from a male perspective, we definitely don't want anybody. They're fun. If you want out to just have a good time, then I think that's how some men view those women. But when it comes down to having a real relationship and having kids and all of that, a man with money, that he doesn't want that woman. And I don't have money. I'm a thousandaire myself. I don't have a lot of money, but I wouldn't choose a woman of that standard, not to be my ride or die or to try to hold me down. I just think that just didn't work. That just wouldn't work. You need somebody with some substance.
Sorry about that, Eden. You had me choked up for a minute there. I had to.
You back?
I'm back. Wow, it's like I said, I knew we was not going to be able to cover, the information, the amount of information that I want to cover in one show, because this woman, the way she thinks and how she sees things, her perspective, and I have to give it to her. That's why I love talking to her. And I always tell you, you're always welcome on the show, because I love sitting. I just listen. I'll be forgetting I'm even hosting. I just sit back and I listen and let you take over, because you have a great perspective and people need to really hear it and sit with some of this stuff. You got some people scratching their heads tonight when you talked about the character. You got people scratching their heads when you talked about the character. Yes. Yes.
Accomplished.
Yes. So as always, I definitely would love to have you back. Would you come back, Eden? Would you come back?
Oh my gosh. For you, absolutely. And you too, Eli. I'm not leaving you out.
I appreciate that.
This is just our first show with you. That's all. So hopefully it'll be the first of many.
Yes, definitely. We definitely want to have you come back on, because this is a lot of information. I think the audience loved it. They loved. We're getting a lot of thumbs up and hearts going on right now on social media. Awesome. So it was very impactful, as I knew it would be. Thank you again so much, and happy Thanksgiving to you, Eden.
And the same to you.
Thank you.
And the radio family. Enjoy your holidays. Make them matter.
Yes. Thank
right.
you so much. And please be safe. Be careful, because we got all kind of scammers out this time of the year.
Yes.
So
once again. And thank you for your patience with all of our technical issues. I was so frustrated.
Absolutely. It's okay. We got the job done.
We good. We made it do what it do.
Guys, make sure that you follow Eden. Her social media handles are showing up right now. Make sure you follow her, Eden Adele, on Facebook and on Instagram. Get back to passion. Thank you once again, Eden, for coming on tonight. I love you, sis. Really appreciate you.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you to the Rebirth family for joining us tonight. Make sure you tune in every Monday night at 7 p.m. We are here faithfully, me and my homie Eli Isabel. Next week, our special guest would be Miss Jen Fontel joining us on the Rebirth. Once again, thank you guys and have a great Thanksgiving. Happy holidays, family.
Hey.
Happy holidays.
Follow us on Instagram
Better follow me.
at Philly Jam 95.3 FM.
Can't have me. Talk all day, then at night falling deep. Stimulate me. Want you mental and physical.